deployment. And by that April or whatever of 18, I was at OCS.
Okay.
And so I kind of went there as a way to prevent myself from having to get out of the Guard.
Gotcha. Okay.
Got into that I was supposed to go accelerated, and then I couldn't get a Chapter 2 physical. So I screwed up. I was going to be a pilot. So I went down to the aviation, and they say don't ever give the military anything for free. Like, don't give them any information for free because they'll use it against you every time. So I'm sitting through a Chapter 2 physical, and I've passed everything with flying colors. The last thing I have is, like, see the doc. I'm with the provider, and he's going through all the, do you have this, do you have that? And he was like, do you have any back pain? And I was like, well, yeah, a little bit. He was like, all right, that's the end of your physical. I have to have x-rays from today, and I got to have x-rays from 12 months from now showing you haven't showed improvement in whatever is that your ailment causing back pain. And so I reported to OCS anyways. That was I was the last month. I came in the month before we shipped. So I was in pre-OCS for like 1 day, actually.
Yeah.
Because Saturday I went to my physical. Sunday I showed up for pre-OCS. And they were like, well, we can't go accelerated if you don't have Chapter 2. So I ended up going traditional, which was the best thing ever. If you're considering OCS, traditional OCS, regardless of who's in charge of it or what that op tempo looks like, because I know a lot of them are going like 8 months now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is a mistake. There's huge benefit to having to do something for a year of your life, planning, working together as a group. It's not about getting through the school faster. It's about learning how to be a National Guard officer before you're a National Guard officer. But I got put in traditional program, class 6-4, I think. Yeah, class 6-4 here in Oklahoma. And went to phase 1 in South Dakota. Now that year was weird because we had broken up with the state of Washington for, I guess, 12 months or whatever, because it was something about commanders were bickering. I don't know. So we went to South Dakota. I'm sorry, with Kansas.
Yeah.
Not with Washington, with Kansas, state of Kansas. So we didn't go to Kansas for phase 1. We went to South Dakota, all the traditional and the accelerated, which now just accelerated goes there.
Brutal.
Yeah, and so I got to be a part of that. South Dakota, the land nav course is amazing. Everything else was terrible. Did y'all do land nav there? Did you get to go to South Dakota?
No,
we
went to.
were Washington. We were Kansas.
We were Kansas. We went to Salina.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the land nav course in South Dakota pays for the rest of it by itself because it's just huge mountains, and like the map is exactly what if you look out and see a group of trees with a hill, you look down, that's what you're going to see on your map. So it's so easy compared to Kansas, which is like we drew some scratches on the paper. Go find these points, right?
Yeah. That was not an easy land nav course.
It's the hardest one I've ever done.
Yeah, it's tough.
I've done it. I've done that one now a couple times, and it is by far the hardest course I've ever seen.
Yeah, it also doesn't help the fact that it's literally there's some within like 50 meters of each other. It's like, is this the right one?
Yeah.
And then you go back and you have to redo your pace count. You're like,
If you're
man,
off
I'm
at
an
all.
idiot.
Yeah, it's terrible. Anyway, so we came home from that, got into phase 2. Wonderful time. We had just trying to remember the commander's name now, and I'm going to forget it. Dang. Sorry, sir. Whoever you are. Anyway, we came home, had a new OCS commander, and he was doing things a little bit different than previous groups. And so that was fun because we were kind of getting, like, we were the guinea pigs.
Mm-hmm.
So, there was, it felt different. It felt neat. Everything we were doing I felt like cutting edge. Like, we're problem solving. How did that work? How does this work? We made improvements on the fly, which was really, really neat to see. Versus some schoolhouses, as y'all know, you go to the military schoolhouse and it's like whatever we do is what we do, and those AARs never really go anywhere, it seems like. So we got most of the way through phase 2, and the commander brought me in and was like, "All right, man, listen up. You need to tell me where you want to transfer to." And I was like, "Well, I don't want to transfer. I want to be here." He's like, "Well, you can't. If you ain't got Chapter 2 by now, you're probably not going to get one. So you need to figure out where you're going to go." So basically, they were kicking me out of OCS for because I couldn't pass a physical because this doctor said, "Do you have any back pain?" And I said, "Yes." Lie to the government. That's all I'm saying. And then I coerced him into letting me stay because we were, I don't know, 3 or 4 months out. I was like, "Look, it's 3 or 4 drills. Just let me stay here and finish out phase 2 with my, comrades." And So we did that, and then so we get done with phase 2. He's like, all right, so now where do you want to go? And I was like, well, listen, I still need an AT. I'm this close. What if I just get to finish, right? So he was like, okay, fine. You can finish OCS. So I luckily got to go to phase 3, passed with flying colors up there. Oklahomans rocked that place. It was wonderful up at the state of Washington. And came home and went through the whole ceremony and just didn't get to pin. And it was all because I still can't get a Chapter 2 because my packet went to National Guard Bureau. And so they basically, from what I've been told, if I ever tried to get another Chapter 2, it would, throw up a red flag. We'll see. I don't know.
Interesting.
One of these days I may still try to direct commission, because it's...
Yeah.
One, I have my coin from OCS. I've completed the commissioning school. But two, they did direct commissions again, so...
Yeah, well, heck, but so Chapter 2, so it's just the Army red paper. I mean, how many times, I don't know if you've ever seen The Fat Electrician, but I'm a huge fan of his YouTube channel. But basically, some of the best fighters in the world, or some of the most decorated soldiers in the world, if they hadn't lied on their sight and vision tests, we would have not had some great ones like the War Daddy, like the tanker guy. Who else? Ching Li, the best admiral that was ever. He was the only admiral that sunk a Japanese ship with another ship in basically a sniping contest with. He rewrote the book on how to conduct naval warfare from long distances. And who else? There's a couple other ones, but anyway. So.